Teaching with Technology, an analysis of my TPACK. So I'm going to be talking about what the TPACK framework is, where I believe my TPACK currently lies, as well as where I would like it to go in the future. What is the TPACK framework? So TPACK is an acronym for Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Area Knowledge, and it is a framework that explains and guides the integration of technology in the classroom. So more specifically, the TPACK framework looks at the interactions and relationships between content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and technological knowledge. And so each teacher has a unique TPACK with different sized circles of knowledge in their Venn diagram that affect the way in which they integrate technology in the classroom. So it is important to note that one's TPACK will change in different contexts. And so my TPACK, I will be analyzing it in the context of my own teaching interests. So I'm interested in teaching grades 3 to 6, so I'll be looking at my TPACK through that lens. So one area of knowledge in this framework is content knowledge, which is the teacher's knowledge of the subject areas taught in the classroom. So how well do you know the theories and the concepts and the facts behind what you are teaching to students in the classroom in different subject areas? So for my content knowledge, I feel very strong in English, given that was my minor in university. So I've taken many classes on literary analysis, writing, linguistics, and also in the context of grade 3 to 6, I feel fairly confident in math, physical science, as well as human biological sciences. My content knowledge circles do get smaller when it comes to social studies, specifically history, as well as plant and animal science. I found in my practicum I often had to teach myself about these subjects before teaching students, and so I do lack that more extensive background knowledge in these particular subject areas. So the next component in this framework is pedagogical knowledge, which is the teacher's knowledge about the methods and practices of teaching and learning. So this can refer to classroom management strategies, activating different learning styles, as well as lesson planning and assessment. Valtonen and colleagues conducted a study where they identified PK as both an area of most confidence as well as a more challenging area for pre-service teachers. They found that it was highly reflected on and in the end concluded that it's a very important component of the TPACK framework. Currently, this is my most confident area of knowledge, but I know in the future when I get my own classroom, I will encounter unique challenges that will force me to revise my teaching pedagogies. So this is an ever-evolving circle, but currently I feel confident and have had success in my pedagogical approach to the classroom. Currently, my approach involves social constructivism, as I believe it is important and beneficial for students to construct their knowledge through social collaboration, and I also think it's important to provide differentiated instruction and engage the multiple intelligences to accommodate neurodiversities in the classroom. The next component is technological knowledge, which is the teacher's knowledge of and proficiency in using different forms of technology in the classroom. So do they have digital literacy skills where they use technology for very basic purposes, or are they digitally fluent where they're able to use technology in more complex ways? I'm pretty familiar with the different features of Google and Microsoft applications, and through this class, podcasting and video, but I do need further development in the forms of technology that are often used with my grade level, such as smartboards, iPads, Class Dojo, Google Classroom, PowerSchool. These would be all valuable to learn more about. Now we're into looking at the relationships between circles. So this is pedagogical content knowledge, which describes the relationship between the teacher's content knowledge and the teacher's ability to transform that content knowledge for effective teaching in the classroom. And so this is what teachers have to do every day, regardless of whether they use technology or not. I do feel very confident in this area of knowledge, as it's arguably one of the main focuses in our education program. And one strategy I've developed is just always thinking about ways to break down complex concepts into smaller components that are easy to understand for students, and that can be scaffolded to build towards that deeper understanding. So the next relationship we're looking at is technological content knowledge, which describes the teacher's understanding of how technology and content influence each other. So it's about knowing the technology tools that complement certain subject areas best. I would consider this an overall weak area of knowledge for me, and it's likely weak due to my lack of experience teaching these content areas, so I'm just not as aware of the tools out there. But my goal for the future is to increase my awareness of EdTech tools that best support certain subjects. The next relationship we're examining is technological pedagogical knowledge, which is the understanding of how technology can be used to support and enhance one's teaching pedagogies. So, basically, how to implement technology in a pedagogically meaningful way. And Valtonen and colleagues also identified TPK as a significantly challenging area for pre service teachers. I believe technology, if used, must be collaborative in order for it to be beneficial. But overall, I think this intersection is a weaker area of knowledge for me due to my smaller TK. So I can use smartboards and iPads in very basic ways, but I struggle to think of how to use them in a pedagogically meaningful way. And I think this is because I still lack the technological knowledge. I think this is an accurate representation of my TPACK currently, with my PK and CK being of similar size and my TK in need of development. My goal moving forward is to continue to develop my TK in hopes that it will ameliorate the interconnected relationships within my TPACK.